An entire class of Air Force attack jets. Joining me now, retired four-star General Jack Keane, former Vice Chief of Staff of the Army and a Fox News military analyst. Good morning, General. Good to have you with us today.
Good morning.
Did you find this surprising?
No, I mean, this is a part of sequestration, and I find it very disappointing, but not surprising. You know, these cuts represent 50% of the sequestration cuts, whereas the Department of Defense, in terms of federal outlays, only represent 19% of the budget. And I think that's what really has our military leaders so frustrated, is they know in the post-9/11 wars, as in previous wars when we draw down, that they should be some cuts. But these cuts are disproportionate to the rest of the federal budget, and that's the rub.
Yeah, I mean, that is such a crucial point here, because it appears that the administration, who has said time and time again that they are willing to get serious about budget cuts, is only apparently serious about it in one department.
That's absolutely right. I mean, the Defense Department is disproportionately cut by comparison to every other agency and every other department in the federal government. That's the truth of it. And it's sad commentary when we realize what we're truly talking about here. We are fundamentally talking about a deterrent force that prevents wars from happening and a force that's capable of prosecuting if called upon. And this is the security of the American people that we're talking about.
You know, in terms of the specific cuts, you know, are they you say that, you know, the military accepts that, you know, when you pull out of this war footing in two war zones that you are likely to, you know, do some trim back. Is it being done in the areas that the Pentagon would like it to be done in, or is it, you know, sort of a slash and burn method?
Well, most analysts looking at it would tell you that the cuts to the Army are deep, and they cut into the bone and capabilities of the Army, and they are disproportionate. The assumption that's being made in the Pentagon, and it's almost laughable if it wasn't so serious, is they don't believe that the United States will involve itself in a ground war of any consequence again. The fact of the matter is, those assumptions have been made after World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and the Cold War, and every single time they have been proven wrong. And here we are making that same assumption again. So the Army is taking a much more severe cut, and the numbers of the Army are going down to pre-World War II numbers, which on the surface of it is irresponsible. Anybody looking at that knows that that is far too much.
I mean, we all know that people in different parts of the country, in different states who have pet projects that are defense-related in their home states are always willing to go to the mat to protect the employment numbers and the support, in many cases, that they get from these entities. Is that at play here as well in terms of what's being cut and what's being allowed to be built and what isn't?
Well, certainly. There are still things in the budget that will be protected by the Congress at the expense of others. The fact of the matter is, we are losing ships, we are losing planes, and we are losing significant fighting organizations in the Army. And I don't see any change in this in the near future as long as sequestration is still on the table. We have a pass as a result of the bipartisan law that was just recently enacted. But that's only a pass for the next 2 years. The cuts are going to be even worse than what we're looking at now.
You know, in the past, we've talked about whether or not this leaves us ready for, you know, sort of one conflict or two conflicts. How does that look?
Well, pretty severe. I think any conflict that would be protracted and have scale associated with it puts us at risk. The fact of the matter is today, the Army has very few units that are ready to fight today. And that's the truth of it. It's not out in the public media, but that is a fact. And this situation is going to get worse. The readiness of the Army, the modernization programs for it, that's the new equipment that it has, and then the organizations itself, so many of them are being cut that they will not have the capability to prevent wars and also to prosecute them in a way that they want to, which is very rapidly, and also keep casualties down to a minimum.
That's a stunning statement. General, thank you very much. We'll talk again.